Hello there and welcome. I'm Lindsay. Today I'll be guiding you through a practice that is focused on your shoulders and your upper body and just giving yourself an opportunity just to release some of that tension and tightness that we have a tendency to hold up in that area in our body. And also, more importantly, just to take a moment away from what's happening right now, kind of the craziness and being at home, maybe you have kids or a busy household. So just trying to find just a quiet spot, take, this 10 or 15 minutes away, just to breathe, move inward, have some quiet time, and just relax the shoulders a little bit. So enjoy, let's get started. We're gonna come into a table position and move through some cat and cow breaths. So coming into a nice neutral spine, bringing some subtle engagement right through center there. Toes can be untucked or tucked under, pressing down firmly through the palms here and using that next exhale breath to round into the spine here. So think about really pressing the ground away, tucking the chin. Think about that tailbone tilting under here. Good. Really press the ground away to round into that upper back. And then using that inhale breath to reverse the curve of the spine, tilts the tailbone skyward, tips the shoulders back, gaze slightly lifts. And that exhale breath brings us back into that cat spine. That nice deep exhale, pausing, holding at the top, that full resistance in that upper back, and inhaling nice and slowly, bringing yourself up into that cow pose, tilting tailbone, chest reaching skyward, and that exhale breath once again to press the ground away. Good. And then just coming through a few rounds, allowing those movements to fall in line with your breathing here. Taking those little pauses at the top of the pose to transition slowly to that next movement. Finding that full place here. Good. And we'll do one more round on each side here. Nice and easy. Really great postures, just to find some decompression in the spine. When we start to move with our breath, it starts to slow the fluctuations of that constant thinking. Good. So landing back in table pose. You can tuck the left toe under if you wish. Good. Left arm extends, right leg reaches back. So think with strength, fingertips reach in one direction, heel in the other. Good. And then kind of pull in through center. Shoulder draws back. Good. Hip joint comes in. Nice. Keeping nice and stable through that right hand as that place of support. Allowing the gaze just to be beyond those right fingers here. Good. A pose for balance, stability, steadiness, concentration. Good. Great strengthening for our back as well. And taking that next exhale breath, bring knee to elbow, hug in, round. Just adding a little bit of heat and strength here. Reach long on that inhale and that exhale, knee to elbow. Good. Extension and hug in and round. Hold for that extra breath. Good. And extend nice and long. Bring the left hand down, right knee to the mat. Right arm, left leg. So think with strength, we're reaching through fingers, pressing out through foot, and then drawing that right shoulder back. Good. Hugging in through center so you have that subtle engagement through the core. So think navel draws in and up slightly. And then just start to breathe here. Good. Nice and steady. Even on the in and out breath, allow the focus to fall there. Good. Now on that next exhale breath, knee to elbow. See if we can keep the gaze forward as we move here. Inhale, extend. Exhale, knee to elbow. Good. One more time, reaching long and knee to elbow. Good. And extend nice and long. Hand to mat, knee to mat, big toes together, knees nice and wide. Let's find child's pose. We're gonna move into more active child's pose here. So reaching your arms nice and long, letting your hips fall towards your heels. And feel free to grab a pillow or blanket or anything that's nearby you can place underneath your seat in between your feet, just for that extra support. Good. So just continue to reach your fingers forward so you start to feel that stretch in the side body here. Forearms can maybe be lifted or rested. Good. And then move into a lateral stretch for our spine. So we'll start to walk our hands over to the right side here. And as we walk our hands to the right, feel that left hip drop down. So think left side of the body, hip to underarm, right through the ribs, creating that stretch, that resistance. Maybe right hand comes on top of left as we pull that left hip downwards. And we're just coming to a depth in the posture that, feels right, feels needed. It's not too much. It's not forceful. It's kind of a point where you start to feel maybe a more significant sensation. Good. And then when you're ready, take your time moving over to that opposite side. So moving to left, so we get that same stretch in the right side of the body here. And take your time to move to that deeper place. Adjust where needed. If you do want to place the left hand over the right hip reaches, kind of start to feel that greater resistance through the ribs. Good. And when you're ready, coming back to that center, that child's pose here for a moment. Next, coming into melting hearts. We're going to make our way back onto our knees here. Good. Our knees are going to stay right under our hips as we start to walk our hands forward. It's almost like a downward facing dog on our knees here. So fingers spread at a comfortable distance. Good. Pressing down more through the knuckles of the hands and tilting that tailbone skyward as we melt the chest downward. So we just move really slow and steady here. Just feeling how we're feeling right now, so we're not going too deep too fast. And those forearms, again, might still stay lifted, or they might start to rest onto the mat here. Maybe the forehead comes all the way down. Some of us might even be able to bring the chin onto the mat here. So whatever is comfortable for you. What we want to feel, again, is that just deeper resistance, a deeper stretch, maybe through the side body, the upper back, the chest, the underarms. And then finding that spot in the pose, we start to feel more deeply, and that's where we pause. And that's where we hold some space for ourselves, just to sit, breathe, be here. Again, just take as many breaths as you'd like here. Spend as much time as you'd like here. And then when you are ready, we're going to move our way back into that table position here. Good. So with our right hand rooted down, left arm's going to reach to sky. Big breath, inhale. And sweep that left arm, threading it all the way under the right. So we're reaching it all the way through. And this right hand is just placed right in front of the face. And when we move to the other side, you can see more closely. Good, so left ear and left shoulders on the floor. If it doesn't reach the floor comfortably, again, grab a pillow or something comfortable that you can place your head on top of. So that right hand is just gently pressing into the mat. And to gain greater resistance, feel as if you're trying to drop that right shoulder to the floor behind you. Good. And some of us might even take that top arm, wrap it around our lower back and feel that right shoulder drop down, just depending on where we are, how our body's feeling. That's always the most important thing, is just to constantly check in with yourself, constantly check in where you are moment to moment, day to day. Good. So again, staying as long as you'd like, and when you're ready, pressing into the mat with that right hand, unthreading left arm, back to sky, big breath, inhale. And bringing that back down to table, and we'll move right to that opposite side here. Inhale, we reach, big stretch and opening, and we bring it all the way down, stretch it all the way through here, again, until we find that depth, comfortable with the head. Left hand pressing down ever so slightly. We kind of start to feel as if we're kind of curling that chest skyward a little bit. And if you're familiar with these postures and you prefer, a different arm variation, feel free. That's a beautiful part about our yoga practice and all the postures, that we can kind of move in different shapes to do what best suits us. Okay, so staying again as long as you'd like here, coming up when you're ready, press into the mat. Right arm sweeps up, back to the sky, curling chest, and we'll land back in that table position. And then coming around to sit comfortably just on our knees here. So a block or a pillow underneath our seat, kind of in between our knees is good. And as we come into kneeling, we're going to get into the shoulders just a little bit more. So let's bring our arms forward. And we'll take our left arm. And up and feel like you're reaching the elbows away from your body here. You want to sit up nice and tall, keep it with the forehead with your hips, tail with your arms. You guys are about the height of the shoulders here. We're just reaching your elbows away, going to reach forward and greater resistance in the upper back. Make it forward, up and out, close your eyes. Take a few really intentional breaths here. As you continue to just feel resistance and hold there and with the hold here. And take as much time as possible stretch and great posture to get any part that you're doing and release the upper back. Release the arms, take a nice big breath, big stretch. And as you sweep around, just coming right to the other side. So then what you do for this side, a little bit different. So that you have much space, but you have more space. And as left, look at after the twist away, following that spot, moving your arms, and just holding space for yourself here. And just observe, and just let it quiet and stay. Take a nice big breath, inhale, stretch up, and then exhale. Bring your hands behind your back. I'm just going to turn around just for a moment here. So either in this position, bringing just, the forearms together, maybe, and then hugging in, clasping hands is a good option. Or if you have a towel or a strap nearby, grab something that you can hold on to in between the hands and just reach away. Anything that's really going to really open the shoulders and give you that nice stretch there. So find the version that works for you. Extend the arms not only away from you, but down. And then begin to lift the chest. Lift the eyes. Good, just breathing here. Staying nice and tall in the spine. Really lifting the chest skyward. If the eyes start to wander up as well, things just tend to follow suit. Option to fold here if you'd like, not doing it if it feels too much. Lifting the chest as you come back up if you folded. Good. Releasing strap or hands, whatever you have here. We're just going to bring ourselves back onto our mat with the legs extended nice and long here. So as you extend your legs nice and long, press out through the feet. Now coming into a seated position like that, a lot of us, it'll be not so comfortable here in the hip flexors. So again, a pillow or a block, feel free to sit upon it. Okay, so either option, okay, whatever works for you here. Okay, so spread the toes nice and wide so you have that nice flexion in the feet and you kind of feel the legs drop down and that flexion, that hugging muscle to bone here. Good. I like to bring my fingertips just behind my back, press it down to find that tall yet comfortable spine, eyes forward, crown of head lifting. Really great for your posture. Hug the elbows and drop the shoulders down. Take a nice big breath. Inhale, reach tall. As you exhale, begin to fold. Doing so mindfully, feeling as if you're reaching your navel to your knees, your chest towards your feet. No matter where those hands land, even if it's on your feet, or again, you have that strap to wrap around your feet. Okay, even if it's just maybe more passive and you're just dropping down. You can activate this pose by just feeling that reach of belly button to knees, chest to toes, shoulders back, chest reaching forward first. So if you're holding on, try not to shrug shoulders, draw them back. Chest reaches first. So if you're holding on anywhere or a strap or feet or just to the mat, you'll still feel that stretch in the backs of the legs here. And as in any pose, we're just finding that depth in the pose that is needed in this moment. So that means just really paying attention, always being aware, knowing if you've gone too far, you need to ease off, or the opposite. Maybe you need to add a little bit more. Maybe eventually rounding into the spine and just letting everything go. And forward fold like this, child's pose or standing forward fold. Very calming places to be. So if you find yourself feeling anxious or fearful or, any of those feelings that kind of increase the heart rate and make us feel that worrisome feeling, take a moment, come to a forward fold, a few breaths, just to help ease, help let go a little bit, maybe help soften. When you're ready, taking your time once again, just coming up nice and slow. Whenever coming from a forward fold, eyes coming up last, just avoid any dizziness. Roll the shoulders back, sitting up nice and tall. Let's reach the arms forward, roll the shoulders back. Let's find that strength once again in the body, everything lifting, hugging inwards. Good. And then just releasing the hands down. One final pose today, Baddha Konasana. So feet come together, bound angle pose. So again, sitting upon a pillow or a block is good. Pillow or blocks, whatever you have at home underneath the outer legs for that support is really nice for this posture as well. So holding on somewhere, feet, ankles, legs, shins, finding that tall spine once again. Shoulders away from ears. And again, as we fold in, try to keep the shoulders back, aiming the chest towards the toes. Pressing the feet in towards each other as the knees reach away. Maybe switching the grip a little bit. A few active breaths here, really activating the feet, pulling in, knees reaching away. And maybe eventually we can even start to round in a little bit more. Even rounding in the upper back allows us to still focus on the lower body by keeping the feet pressing in, the knees reaching away. I think the pinky toe edge of the feet here. Again, taking as much time here as you'd like when you're ready. Just sitting up nice and tall, closing the legs up like a book here, crossing here. I said one more pose, but I'm actually going to come into a twist before our final resting posture. So you know what, we're going to come onto our backs actually and come into a supine twist. So just rolling around, drawing yourself down onto your back and bringing those knees with you and towards the chest here. We're going to open up the arms nice and wide, palms to sky, allow the shoulders to rest comfortably. Let's slowly bring the feet down to the floor and allow the knees to drop over to that right side. Now, some of us, the knees might be bent, but further away from that right arm. You can also start to bring the knees closer to that right arm. What we want to focus on is that left shoulder continuing to drop downwards, maybe even looking over the left shoulder here. A pillow or a block or something in between or underneath the leg is a really great support option. Good. And when you're ready, a nice big breath in. We'll lift the legs back up through center, eyes back through center, and slowly work to the opposite side. You might have to, lift that right side up for a moment and just smooth it out, bring it back down, adjust where these legs are, maybe a little bit lower, down a little bit more, maybe up towards the chest and left side. And again, maybe the gaze looks in the opposite direction. No worries if it doesn't. Up to the sky, up to the ceiling is fine as well. Good. So next inhale breath, or whenever you're ready, come back up through center. Give those knees a hug in toward the chest for a moment. Drop the feet right to the floor. Keep the knees bent. Lift the lower back just a little bit again, just to kind of reach the tailbone forward. Allow the arms to fall alongside the body, palms down. Bring your feet so close that your fingertips can, graze the backs of your heels. Want to keep the neck nice and neutral, so always looking right to the sky. Tuck the shoulders under. Press down through feet and hands, and just gently lift into bridge. As you lift into bridge, hug the legs in, reach the knees forward. And we're just lifting for a few moments, a few breaths. Chest to chin, knees reach, that feeling of hugging in, maybe the option to clasp hands, or just keep the hands rested here. Good. And again, we always look up, we never look left to right in this posture. Nice few easy breaths, and then take your time just to lower yourself all the way down. Rest the back of the body. Allow the arms to open, allow the legs to extend nice and wide here. Take a few moments to adjust, your clothing, your space, so you don't feel the need to adjust anything or to move or fidget. Kind of in Shavasana, you're finding this place that is free of distraction, a place that isn't going to, bother you. You're going to come down into a nice, still, quiet space to rest. And this place of rest is just as important as every other posture. Treat it as any other posture. Put that same amount of effort into this posture as you did every other posture. It creates that symmetry of our practice. It creates that balance in our lives, and it allows us to move back into our day feeling rested, feeling renewed. So take care, rest, find some space here just to breathe and focus in on that. And the practice here just becomes, becoming aware of your breathing, of when your thoughts start to wander. And when that happens, it's just as simple as acknowledging where the thoughts have gone to and coming back to breathing in and breathing out. So I want you to take as much time as you would like in this space here.
When you are ready to come up from Shavasana, do so slowly and mindfully. Come into a seated position to finish. Take another deep breath. And then quietly move on with the rest of your day or night or wherever you are. Thank yourself for showing up. Express gratitude for all that you have in this moment.
Thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this practice, and we'll see you again real soon. Namaste.